close your eyes and listen to the millennia-old whispers carried by the wind over the Seine River. This city is not merely made of stone, boulevards, and iron. It is a breathing, living organism molded by the arrogance of kings, the wrath of revolutionaries, the whispers of lovers, and the genius of artists. Today, we embark on an epic journey through time, from a muddy island to the City of Lights. We will discover who ruled the city, how the common people lived, and how history is etched into the streets we walk today. The lights are dimming, the curtain rises. Get ready to touch history. We are in the 3rd century BC. The place we are currently in is not called Paris, but Lutetia. The Parisi tribe of Celtic origin lives on that small island in the middle of the Seine River. The city consists of mud and wood. The habits of the people are fishing in the river, battling the currents, and participating in the rituals of nature-worshipping Druid priests. However, in 52 BC, the invincible eagles of the Roman Empire appear on the horizon. Julius Caesar's armies conquer this strategic island. The city is now ruled with military discipline by governors appointed by the Roman Senate. The Romans mercilessly destroy the muddy world of the Celts, replacing it with stone and engineering. The Celts are quickly assimilated. They begin to wear togas and drink wine. Their new habits involve bathing for hours in massive bathhouses to gossip, discussing trade, and watching the bloody fights of slaves, lions, and gladiators in amphitheaters in the afternoons. Traces of history. Today in modern Paris, hidden between apartment buildings, you will come across the Arènes de Lutetia. Once, 15,000 people screamingly watched gladiators here. But on the stone steps of this massive arena today, Parisians sit peacefully and read books. Lying at the heart of the nearby Middle Ages Museum, the Thermes de Cluny is the pinnacle of ancient engineering. When you enter the colossal vaulted frigidarium, you can almost hear the echoing voices of Roman merchants who bathed here with olive oil 2,000 years ago. In the 5th century, Rome collapses, and the Frankish king Clovis takes the city, making it his capital. However, Paris truly finds its identity in the 12th and 13th centuries under the rule of the Capetian dynasty. The era is feudalism. However, the kings must share power with the Catholic Church, which holds immense authority at the time. Paris is a dark labyrinth, surrounded by massive walls, on the verge of bursting with overpopulation, where the stench of sewage and the smell of fresh bread mix together. The plague is always at the door. The lives of the people are shaped by the rhythm of the church bells. While artisan guilds keep the economy afloat, the greatest public entertainments are the fairs set up in marketplaces and the public executions of criminals. People are ruled by an intense fear of hell. Traces of history. The desire to reach God and the fear of this era are carved into stone. Notre-Dame Cathedral. Begun in 1163, this Gothic masterpiece summarizes the spirit of the era. Its soaring flying buttresses and terrifying gargoyle statues were built to remind the illiterate public of hell and to ward off evil spirits. Right next to it stands Sainte-Chapelle, built by the devout King Louis IX to house the holy relics. When you step inside, you do not see walls. The ethereal light filtering through the 15-meter-high massive stained glass windows is breathtaking. It was medieval man's attempt to bring heaven down to earth. The colossal Gothic structure on the same island, La Conciergerie, was the first royal palace of the era, but would later turn into the darkest prison of the Revolution. The Bourbon dynasty is on stage. Feudalism has ended. An absolute monarchy has reached its peak with the Sun King, Louis XIV, who famously said, "I am the state." The royalty believes it receives its power directly from God. There is a terrifying divide in the city. Disgusted by the filth of Paris and its rebellious people, the royalty retreats to the Palace of Versailles. The aristocracy remaining in Paris wear beauty marks, don massive powdered wigs, and, believing that water brings disease, use heavy perfumes instead of bathing. They duel and discuss philosophy in literary salons. However, the ordinary people of Paris within the walls are starving to death, crushed under heavy taxes. Traces of history. To see that arrogance and ostentation of the kings, our route is the Louvre Museum. Originally a simple medieval fortress, This massive structure was transformed by kings into a spectacular Renaissance palace. Today, that gold-leafed Appoggio gallery you walk through while looking for the Mona Lisa carries the footsteps of kings. To feel the life of the aristocracy, we must go to place De Vasquez in the Lamare district, with its flawless symmetry and red brick This is the most elite square of the era, where nobles observed one another, when the arrogance of the palace and the hunger of the people, combined with the ideas of Enlightenment philosophers, one of the greatest explosions in history occurred. The French Revolution of 1789. The monarchy is overthrown. The government is in the hands of republicans chanting liberty, equality, fraternity. However, this period quickly evolves into the Reign of Terror under Robespierre. No one on the street can call each other monsieur anymore. Everyone is a citizen. The guillotine is the industrialized form of death, and the public knits every day in the squares while watching the executions of nobles. General Napoleon Bonaparte, emerging from the chaos, seizes power, declares himself emperor, and instills a militaristic pride in the city. Traces of history. The bloody face of the revolution is today in the massive Place de la Concorde, where tourists take photos. The heads of thousands of people, including King Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette, were chopped off by the guillotine set up here. To cover up this blood-washed past, a massive 3,300-year-old Egyptian Luxor obelisk rises in the middle of the square today. The stone embodiment of Napoleon's military genius and arrogance is the Arc de Triomphe at the head of the Champs-Élysées Abbaye. The Pantheon, a massive domed structure that used to be a church but was dedicated to reason with the revolution, is a mausoleum where giants like Voltaire, Rousseau, and Victor Hugo rest. In the mid-19th century, Emperor Napoleon III takes the stage. Along with his legendary urban planner Baron Haussmann, the most ruthless urban transformation in history begins. The narrow, diseased streets of the Middle Ages, which were prone to rebels building barricades, are destroyed with dynamite. Power is now in the hands of the wealthy bourgeoisie. Massive boulevards, wide enough for soldiers to march comfortably, are built. They are surrounded by cream-colored monolithic buildings and wrought iron balconies. Gas lamps are installed on the streets, giving birth to the City of Lights. The habit of the new era is the flaner culture. Elegantly dressed intellectuals aimlessly wandering the streets just to see and be seen. Cafes overflow. Artists, on the other hand, take refuge in the cheap hills of the city. Te cri, te bohemian lifestyle, impressionism, and cabaret culture, accompanied by cheap traces of history. The temple of bourgeois ostentation is the Opera Garnier, with its massive marble staircases, gold gilding, and giant crystal chandelier. People came here not to watch the performance, but to watch each other. The steel crown of the Industrial Revolution is the Eiffel Tower. Although intellectuals of the time spewed hatred at this pile of iron when it was built in 1889, today that tower is the backbone of the city. To feel the soul of bohemian painters like Van Gogh, Picasso, and Renoir, one climbs up to the cobblestone Montmartre neighborhood at the top of the city, and to the Sacre, see your basilica sitting like a pure white swan at the very peak. Paris is not a dusty open-air museum stuck in the past. Today, it is a modern metropolis managed with the 15-minute city concept, woven with massive bicycle lanes, courageously embracing ecological and avant-garde art. To capture that innovative and futuristic pulse of modern Paris, you must discover these magnificent structures lying behind the historical sites. One Centre Pompidou. It was dropped between historical buildings in the 1970s like a machine from space. Architects Renzo Piano and Richard Rogers literally turned the building inside out. All the utilities, water pipes, air conditioning, electricity, and massive escalators were placed on the exterior. The inside is a colossal, flawless, column-free, modern art museum featuring works of Kandinsky, Warhol, and Picasso. 2. Louvre Pyramid, the boldest collision of the traditional and the futuristic. The massive glass and steel pyramid placed in the courtyard of that Renaissance masterpiece. The Louvre Palace, by legendary architect, the first MNP, in 1989, although it was called an insult to history when first built. Today, it is a magnificent symbol of elegance that connects the past and the future underground. 3. La Défense, and La Grande Arch, in order not to ruin the historical Haussmann skyline of the city with skyscrapers. The entire financial and business center was built miles west of the city. At the heart of this futuristic district, made entirely of glass and steel, lies La Grande Arch. This structure is a modern version of the historic Arc de. It is a massive, hollow glass and marble cube. It is so large that even the Notre-Dame Cathedral could comfortably fit inside it. 4. Fondation Louis Vuitton, bursting through the greenery of the Bois de Boulogne forest. This structure is the masterpiece of architect Frank Gehry. Consisting of 3,600 massive curved glass panels, it resembles a futuristic glass sailboat catching the wind. Its architecture, which constantly changes color according to the daylight, is a magnificent dance of nature and modernity. 5. Philharmonie de Paris, opened in 2015 Pulgadas Parc de la Villette. This concert hall is the work of architect Jean Nouvel. Its exterior is covered with 340,000 aluminum panels that shine in the sun, resembling flying giant birds. The whole inside is an acoustic miracle that traps the listener right in the center of the music, with balconies seemingly floating in the air. 6. An Eliat Elier des Lumi Res, the digital age's way of consuming art. A massive 19th century cast iron foundry has been transformed into an immersive art center. Here, paintings do not hang on walls. Paris is an immortal novel that was once made only of mud and blood, but has turned into a never-ending poem of literature and genius. While hearing the footsteps of ghosts from the past in one corner, you watch the sun hitting the glass of a futuristic building in another. Paris didn't just write history, it sculpted history like a work of art. And this glorious masterpiece will continue to be written with brand new pages as long as the Seine River keeps flowing.